Hello everybody and welcome to my channel Solo Lurask. If you're new here, thanks for popping by, and if you've been before, thanks for popping back. Hope you're all well and you've had a good week, been able to sew when you can and had a few days of sunshine like we've had here in Lancashire. Unfortunately the rain's started again today, but it's dried up a bit now, so fingers crossed it stays a little bit brighter and a little bit warmer. Had a few good days in the middle of the week, so I managed to get some photographs. All will be revealed. Yay, today is the reveal video. So what have I been up to this week? Well, it's been Friday all week. Let me explain. So as I've said before, I've been doing quite a few collaborations to get my Sojo back, and it has worked with bells on and I have had such a wonderful time. So this week I have finished both makes, and the reason it's been Friday all week is because they are both from the Friday Pattern Company. So the first one that I did was the one that I'd been most excited about and has been hidden away for so long, was the Davenport dress by the Friday Pattern Company. I'm going to insert some pictures of the pattern. So this, as I say, is from the Friday Pattern Company, and it's, as they describe, a throw-on everyday dress. As you can see, it's just above knee length. It has 2 tiers, but to be honest, it would be easy enough to make it a bit longer if you wanted to. Now, I made this with short sleeves, as you'll see on my picture that I'll insert now of the finished garment. Reason being, I absolutely knew that I wanted to make this dress in this fabric, but I didn't have enough. So all I did when I got to the sleeves was made them short so I could fit it all in. Back to the pattern. So this pattern comes in PDF in sizes extra small to 7X, which is a 32-inch chest up to a 60-inch chest. Now it comes in like a split size range, so it comes in an extra small to 2XL, and that is with a BC dressmaker's cut. It goes then from a 1X to a 7X, and that is a CD dressmaker's cut. So you'll get a little bit more ease and room in the bodice part because there's no darts as such. All the shaping comes from the gathers at the neck, gathers at the waistband. How much fabric obviously depends on your size, but it ranges from about 2 meters up to 4.3 meters, you know, for the larger sizes because of the width of the skirt and the gather at the bottom. So this one is the collaboration I was doing with Alison from Sew Like Dotty, and I'll pop a link to Alison's page in the description, so please pop over and have a look at her reveal of the dress. When we got together to talk about what pattern we wanted to use, this was one that we both agreed on. That sounds awful. It sounds like we're having a fight and we're going to agree on this one. There was various options that we could go for. There was some bags, there was some slightly looser fit dress, and Alison had the Davenport, and I was like, yes, it's a dress that I haven't tried before. Absolutely, let's try. And as I said, when I saw the pattern, I knew straight away it had to be this fabric. Now the fabric I used is a beautiful drapey viscose fabric that was originally from the Think Pink box from Beyond the Pink Door. I actually had the original colour version, which was sand, and I picked up this navy version from What Beck Sews as D-Stash because I loved it so much. I felt that the nautical print just blended beautifully with the style features on this dress. So as you'll see from the pictures, it has a little flutter on the sleeve. The sleeve should be full length, but as I say, all I did was chopped it at the length and shorten line that's printed on the pattern and constructed it all completely the same as had it been full length, and it just comes into that little, you know, little short sleeve version. The neckline is gathered with elastic at the front, but the detailing comes, the back yoke comes right over the front and the elastic fixes in, and that then brings in the bodice section to make it a little bit more blouse on looking, and make sure you've got plenty of room for the bubbas. The waistband isn't elasticated, it is just a drawstring. So when you're constructing it, you create a small channel actually on the skirt section rather than on the bodice section. To be honest, when I was making it, I got in touch with Alison going, did you have to lengthen this? How's this fitting on you? I think this is coming up too short. And she said, nope, never had that problem. Because I'd made two-piece garments, like a bodice and a bottom section that you fit together with a channel, but the channel has always been on the bodice section, so I was thinking the same thing here, and I was going to lose a few inches off the bodice, but actually when it was all constructed, it sits perfectly on my natural waist. There was no issues whatsoever. Run the drawstring through, and it's brilliant because if you have a bit extra for lunch, you can just let it out a little bit, but also you can move those gathers around to give it the most flattering look. It has pockets. To be fair, with it being viscose, being so drapey, I always find that my pockets do get stretched a little bit. So when I'm, just standing, you probably can see them bagging out a little bit. Gotta be honest, most of the time if I've got pockets in a garment, my hands are in them. So that's not a big deal for me. And I'm not overly precious that if my pocket bags a little bit, I'm cool with that. It's handmade, it is what it is. I styled up in these pictures with just a pair of thick tights and my Lanx boots, to me it gives it, I've been trying to think what it reminds me of. I have a scene from a film in my head. Please shout out or put it in the comments if you can think of it. But it just has that very kind of like vintage feel with the boots and the dress. I absolutely adore it. And this, I made this with workwear in mind. I work, as I've said before, I work in a little clothes boutique, and I think this dress is going to be absolutely perfect for that. Really enjoyable make, and thank you, Alison, for agreeing to collab with me and for pushing me out of my comfort zone with a pattern that I probably would never, have gone for. I made this in the 2XL. Now, that's the pattern size that I had. To be honest with you, I would probably and should probably be in the next size bracket, the 1X to 7X made with a CD cup. This dress fits me beautifully, but I would probably do with a little bit more room in it. What I am high street, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Because I make my own stuff, I don't know, and I can vary with pattern makers. But to let you know, my bust is 44F. My stomach is, sorry, I'm going to go between inches and centimeters here. My boobs, I think in centimeters at the widest point are like 118, 119 centimeters. My waist is 112 centimeters. My hips are 125 centimeters. So you can tell I have, like, my bum to belly ratio is Weeble. I am just completely round, middle-aged spread and beyond. So it makes it a little bit more challenging for me because my waist throws out what size I should be in. So I kind of take that out, always look at the finished garment measurements and see, is it going to fit past my waist? And if it is, I generally don't grade out on something like a dress that's drawn in. So as I say, for this, I used the 2XL, which was the largest of the pattern that I had. So I used that and it fitted. But if I was to do it again, I would probably do it in the next size category, in the 1X, just to give me a little bit of extra ease and a little bit of extra ease around the bust area. But all in all, I am super delighted and I absolutely love this make, and I hope you think it looks cool too. So then on to the second Friday of the week was another collaboration I was doing with Jeanette, who over on Instagram is at Nettie0302. And Jeanette answered my call to do a collab as well, and with all of the patterns that we had to choose from, we plumped for the Sagebrush top. And again, it's another pattern that I'd put off committing to. I loved it, and I loved it on other people, and I just thought, I don't think it's going to suit me. I've always avoided like higher neck tops. I always want something a bit lower because I feel really restricted. So I'd always put it off, but it was always bugging me at the back of my mind because everybody else always looked so nice in it. So I thought, no, this is the chance. Come on, do something that you wouldn't normally do, which is what I've chosen here. So the Sagebrush is a beginner sewing friendly top in a woven fabric, nice and stable, and I will agree with that. It was a beautiful make, it was nice and easy, but what made this make even better was that me and Jeanette messenger video called each other for 2 nights on the run, and we sewed it together in virtual world, and it was just delightful. You know, we were just chatting away, we were comparing sizes of ourselves, comparing our garments as we were making them, going through if we were, you know, getting stuck on a few bits, and, you know, unpicking a bits because we'd made a silly mistake. And it was just lovely, just a few hours each night. And it was just lovely to have a chat with somebody, you know, on the other side. There was times when we weren't speaking, we were busy, or we were out in the other room ironing or trying stuff on, and, you know, the other person would come back and on a different, you know, on a different bit, or my dogs came in and needed letting out and they were barking, so I'd away. But it was just a really nice thing to connect with somebody else via, you know, modern technology and video chats, and just felt like, you know, I was in a little club doing it together. It was a really pleasant experience, and one that we're actually going to do again sometime because we've both got a lot from that. As I say, it wasn't just all sewing chat. We were talking about our other halves and what we do, and it was, yeah, I can highly recommend it. Obviously, I'll pop a picture here or somewhere on the page of the Sagebrush top from Friday Pattern Company. Again, the size range for the Friday Pattern Company is extra small to 7XL, which is 32-inch chest up to 60-inch chest. Now, the Sagebrush top is pretty straight down from like below the arms to the waist. It fitted me beautifully. I think it's maybe just a little bit neat on my hips, but again, I chose the 2XL because I'm in that kind of like halfway in between. My measurements say I can get in the 2XL, but knowing that the 1X is just a little bit bigger and it's got the CD cup, I probably should go for that because I am definitely CD cup. But I went with that, and that is the first time I tried it. I wasn't overly concerned if it didn't come out quite right. It was the process, but actually it's come out lovely and it fits beautifully. As I say, just a little bit snug on my hips, but what I tend to do is just, you know, tuck it under and let it kind of like blousing over the top, as I've shown here in the picture with me wearing it. The frill construction is really straightforward. It's just sandwiching between the bodice and the yoke. It's not done with a burrito method at all, so the actual top yoke isn't double layered, it is just single, but actually when it's on it doesn't matter, it's kept nice and easy. The binding is attached around the neck and goes all the way out to create the ties at the back of the neck. And one thing Jeanette was saying is she finds the ties annoying, so what she does is just makes a little button loop and has a button on the other side. But I quite like the, you know, the loop. You know, it fitted me just grand. I was happy with that. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the fabric that I chose for this one was again a viscose fabric, so it's nice and drapey. I didn't want it to be too structured. I know it would have held the sleeve quite nicely, and obviously the little ruffle at the front, but I wanted the whole top just to flow and just be a little bit more relaxed. This fabric is from So Much More, and I got that as part of my advent calendar this year. It's actually black with a little pale pink and green ditzy print on it. I just thought it was perfect for this little top. Nice for, you know, like springtime, summertime. Gets cold, pop a little cardigan on top, but I thought it looked just perfect in this. Again, how much fabric you're going to need is going to depend on your sizing. The piece of fabric I had was 2 meters, and I probably got, I don't know, 20-30 centimeter remnant left over, not much at all. So for me, that'll give you a bit of an indication. If you're in a, you know, double XL, I managed to get that out of a 60-inch wide 2 meters of fabric, because that's all I had. So I reckon for most people you'll be able to get it out of 2, definitely out of 3 meters of fabric. One thing I just want to say about both of these patterns is that at the moment they're listed as PDF, but just to let you know that Friday Pattern Company are updating quite a lot of their pattern library and are now including projector files. There are some that I bought from them way back that I'm now getting email updates to say that projector files are now available in them. Now, personally, I haven't used projector files. It is something that I would like to have a go at some point in the future. At the moment, if it's a small item like the Sagebrush top, I was quite happy to print that off at home on A4, which is one of the options that you've got. If it's anything more than a top, so if it's like trousers or a dress, jumpsuit, something that's a bit bigger, I say if it's more than 20 pages that I've got to print off, then it's going away to printers. I tend to use people like Flamingo Prints, because their service is really quick, really happy with them. I'll go for the AO printing, but for something small like the Sagebrush top, I was quite happy for this just to run it through my printer and print it off on A4. But if you do use projector files, then know that although it may show that it isn't available, they are updating currently their back library, so it might be something that they will have on the future for you. So that's all the sewing that I've been up to. I have started cutting out and prepping some more projects. I've got a little scraps pile here. I've cut out my seafoam shacket from So Confident, which I'm getting ready to start making up. I've got my Guthrie Garney Sewing Society leisure outfit, the top and leggings, to cut out. I'm also rehacking a pair of very wide leg trousers that I made in corduroy. I'm going to turn that into a skirt, so I've just cut out the pattern for the Cashmerette Ellis skirt, and that's going to be the first proper constructed piece of clothing from the Cashmerette patterns that I'll have tried, so I will give you a bit of a rundown on that one. And the only other thing that I've got to say to you this week is I treated myself to a sewing magazine. I don't do this very often, but I saw somebody in a group I'm in saying that excuse me, she'd just gotten her copy and had found a pattern in it, and she showed the pattern, and it was this pattern from Cotton and Chalk. Now, if you saw my video from last week, you'll see the terracotta broderie anglaise top that I'd finished, which was by Hey June Handmade, the Phoenix Blouse. Well, this is a similar idea. Now this just, not in a rude way, but this to me looks like a tablecloth. And the reason that I wanted to get my hands on this pattern was because I have got quite a few of my mum's old embroidered tablecloths, like she embroidered them. And we don't use tablecloths now, and I've still got them. And I've always wanted to create something with them. And I've got a feeling that this style might be just the dab. Huge size range, up from, what is it, 6 to 30, so I'm sure I can make that fit me. But what I didn't realise was you got all of these. So the main pattern was this, the Abigail dress, and on face I thought, oh, that's not really my cup of tea. But the more I looked at it, the more I thought, you know, actually this would make a really nice dress for work. It's got these really deep box pleats, and if I turn around and show you in the lilac, it shows you them quite nicely, and a lot of detailing around the bust area to get a really nice fit. So I quite fancy trying that. This one is the Kiko jacket from Lotte Jansdotters. Now I have got a trouser pattern of hers. She very much embraces zero waist or as low waist as possible with her patterns. And I'm trying to remember, I can't remember. If I remember the name, I'll pop it down the link in the description of a free pattern that she gave away quite a few months ago in a newsletter. And if you know the Zadie jumpsuit that has the tie over kind of like flap detail at the front, these trousers have that same detail. So this is a jacket from, you know, from her as well. And I just thought that looks so chic. It can be made this length and it can be made longer into a full length robe. But in this kind of wool fabric, doesn't that look amazing? So that was another pattern that came. And a backpack pattern. So how cool is that? 4 patterns in the magazine, and it's their 10th birthday magazine. But inside there is also instructions to make like a crossbody bag and another dress as well. So I was absolutely delighted with that. I don't buy them very often. I'll only buy them if I think they're patterns that I will use. As I say, or sometimes my husband, as a treat, he'll be in, you know, the supermarket and he'll see them, he'll pick one up. But yeah, when I saw those, I thought, no, actually, yeah, I want that because I want to make that top and definitely want to make that bag. Which I might do as part of Sew Like Dottie's challenge this month. If you go to Sew Like Dottie page, she's running a challenge there. It's the Bag Makers Challenge. All you have to do is make a bag, obviously, but you have to join one of the sewing virtuals, which is not a hardship because they are great fun. They're not overly crowded, you know, there's not too many people, so it's quite nice, you know, chats that you can get together. And she has them running, you know, 2-3 times a week on various days, lunchtime, during the day, evening time, weekends. There's a whole list of dates that are available. So I think I might try that for the bag making challenge that she's running at the moment. And that's it. That's all I've got to say to you. So as I say, hopefully all the pictures will be here. Please let me know down below in the comments what you think of the Sagebrush top that I made and the Friday Pattern Company. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Please think about subscribing because it just lets me know that I'm reaching people and that I've got something interesting for you to hear. Yeah, that's it for today. So I hope you have a lovely weekend and a lovely next week. Hope you get plenty of sewing done, and I will see you back with whatever I have managed to create over the next week. Thanks for being here. See you soon.